Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fall 2020 Chem 111L. I am your instructor. My name is Rob Fremland. I'm making this, it's a warm day, so excuse the attire. Anyway, I'm going to spend a few minutes welcoming you to the class. I'm going to go over the syllabus and the website. So first of all, let's actually start with the syllabus, and I'll talk about all the stuff you need to know. I'm looking forward to working with you over the course of this semester. Really important that you do watch this whole video and go through the modules on the Canvas site. So let me start with the syllabus. Go to my screen here. Just share the screen, desktop. That. All right, so this is your syllabus. And it's very important that you read this. It's got some very important information. So let me explain what this course is. Chem 111L is the lab section of Chem 111, which is Chemistry and Society. This is not designed for science majors. So if you're a science major, you should maybe be in Chem 152, or if you're like an allied health major, maybe Chem 100. This is for liberal arts majors, so history majors, fashion majors, business majors, that kind of stuff. And so that's what this course is for. I think you'll really enjoy it. We do a lot of interesting, very topical stuff. And the lab is the same way. It's weird that we're doing an entire lab online, but you guys understand the situation. All right, as far as the requisites, you can read all this. You have to be in the lecture. It's better if you're in the lecture here at Mesa, because this will go with the lecture at Mesa. If you're in the lecture at, say, Miramar, it won't jibe well. All right, course objectives you can read for yourself. But let's go through the nuts and bolts. So you do not need anything for this course except for, of course, the ability to get online. So we do have a lab manual, but I'm giving you the lab manual. I'm putting it in the Canvas shell piece by piece, so everything you need will be there. So you don't have anything to purchase for this course as far as material. Obviously, you are going to need, you're going to need good internet and also a way to take printed documents and send them to me. So as you'll see, there's going to be some documents that you'll have to fill out by hand and then upload them. And so some means of creating a PDF, you can take a picture with your phone and send it if you want. But I know there's some very free, inexpensive, or even free apps that you can use. Okay, office hours are going to be done through Zoom, and I've decided it's going to be Mondays and Wednesdays from 10 to 12, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 to 11. This is the link to Zoom, to my Zoom, and then there is a password. The password is 791006. So I will be available during these windows of time and also during our class time, and I'll talk about that as we go. As I said, there's a link to that. But these are just office hours. I'm just going to sit there and look pretty for a while, and then you guys can pop in with questions. All right? Okay, attendance and withdrawal. Again, it's a fully online class. However, we are going to meet synchronously. You have the meeting weeks that it's going to run, but every Wednesday, the course, if we were meeting face-to-face, the course would have been at from 2:20 to 5:20 on Wednesdays. And I'm not going to keep you to 5:20, but every Wednesday, I want you to be on Zoom and have your Canvas site open so that we can meet, so to speak, face-to-face, except virtually face-to-face, just at 2:20, right? And you'll be going through all the material that you'll be doing a quiz at that time. So make sure you're available at that time. I will have the Zoom room open, all right? Yeah, and that's when you're gonna take your quizzes. The last day this is just other nuts and bolts. The last day to drop the class is October 23rd. After that, you will receive a letter grade, and then here's some standard language. All right, now, as far as lab work goes, lab work is gonna be done through the Canvas shell, and I'm gonna explain that to you in just a moment, all right? So you want to go through the welcome video, the welcome module. And if you don't know how to get into Canvas, you will soon, but it's all here. And it's going to show up on your Canvas shell. So for the lab work, let's move over here to the Canvas shell. So in the Canvas shell, let me move this. This is your Canvas shell. And so you need to go through the welcome and helpful information video. Here's where your syllabus is. That's this document here. This is a link to the Zoom account. This is the link to Mesa College Student Services. And that's just helpful for you. And then I'll talk about this stuff as well. All right, this is just a guide. Now, so the way the lab experiments are structured is every lab experiment is gonna look something like this. There's a module for each one. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's several of them up right now. All right, but if you look at this, what you'll see is this is from the lab manual. So if I click on it, just to show you what it looks like, if I click on it, you'll see that this is going to give you a bunch of background information that's written so that you can understand the lab, right? You should definitely read through that. Okay, so we'll go back to that. And that's for each experiment. Then there's a whiteboard video, so it's literally a whiteboard explanation. You'll just see words appearing on a whiteboard with me talking over it. You want to watch this. Then there is a pre-lab quiz, and that's what is going to be done during our actual lab time meeting. You'll have 15 minutes to do the quiz, right? And that's it. You have a one-shot thing. It should be pretty easy to do if you've read through this and watched the whiteboard video. Then after that, there are videos that you watch. Now, some experiments are going to have several videos. See, this one's got a lot of them. Some experiments will have fewer. It just depends on the experiment. Right? And these are videos that I made of me actually doing the experiment so you can see how it's done. Then most of the time, there's going to be something that looks like this. This is, you'll see, I'll click on it so you can see it. This is data sheets. And so if you watch stuff on the video, you can fill these things in, right? So you'll see in this case, does it float or not? Sometimes there's data that I actually give you that you work up. It's just going to depend on the experiment. So that is what I want you to be able to scan and send to me as part of the grade. And then the last thing is it's written as a quiz, but this is where you're going to answer all the questions that would normally be in the back of the lab manual. This is where you will upload the document from the previous box. So each lab module, each experiment module is set up that way, right? They're not going to have all the pieces all the time, but that's how they're set up. The due dates are here. All labs are going to be due a week from the date we do it. So for example, the first lab experiment we're going to do, it was August 26th. That's when you'll start it. The experiment itself is due the following Wednesday, which is September 2nd. All this stuff is written in here. Equipment and safety, now we're not obviously doing anything. You're not going to mix chemicals at home, but safety is a very important part of chemistry. And so I do want you to go through some safety stuff. So here's a document that's actually from the lab manual that you can read through. And this is a safety video that is from the American Chemical Society. We typically show this in the lab for students. I want you to watch this. And then this is a quiz that I want you to turn in. This isn't graded, but it is important. And you can't go to the other modules until you've done this. So it's really important that you go through this, and this will be that you've done the safety quiz. Okay, I just explained the lab experiments, where they're going to be. I talked about the quizzes. So the quizzes, there'll be 10 quizzes that I count. So actually there'll be 9 quizzes that I count. There might even be more than that, and if I give you more, there'll be extra credit, and those will count towards the grade. Like I said, if you've read through the background material and watched the whiteboard video, you should be fine. The lab experiments, okay, the last page has a schedule. The lab experiments are graded on a 50-point basis. Now, each lab actually may have more points than that. So for example, if you look at over here, if you look at experiment 1, you see it's 106 points. Experiment 2 is 64 points. Experiment 3 is 37 points. But they're all actually worth 50. So what I do is I scale it. So I'm going to grade this. It'll be out of 106. The way I scale it to 50 is I'll take whatever your score is and I'll multiply it I did an example in the syllabus. I'll multiply it by 50 over 106. That'll scale it down. And then I will write down the score in Canvas. I'll round it to the closest half. Right? You'll see how this works as time goes on. And then this is the grading scale. There are 13 lab experiments. I'm counting 12. There's not 10 quizzes, I'm counting 9. Then you can do the math on the grading. So I think that gets through everything in the welcome module as well. Okay, academic honesty is a big deal. Since there's no exams or anything like that in this class, it's not quite as a big a deal as far as you looking things up or working together, because you can't copy off of each other's exams and all you have are quizzes. And in a normal situation, I would allow you to work with each other on the lab. But what I don't want you to do is go look stuff up on the internet to answer the questions on the labs, except for questions where I specifically say, go look this up on the internet. So, you should be able to get all the information from the videos or from pictures, from information data that I give you. You should be able to do it from there and from the background. And if not, that's what office hours are for. This is the Mesa College Academic Honesty Statement. For lectures, I make people sign this, but I'm not going to have you do it for this. But you should read through this because your courses are all online. And then the last page here, this is the schedule, what day we're doing which experiment, but it's also, you'll see it in Canvas. Anyway, that is the class. If you have questions, you'll be able to reach me during Zoom office hours, but the first day we'll meet and you can ask questions about this material as well. And I'm looking forward to working with you guys and seeing some of you on Zoom. You can also reach me by email. My email is in the syllabus, so that's a good way to reach me if you have other questions. And take good care of yourselves until such time as we meet. Speak to you soon.